Hey there everybody, this is Caitlin here, aka Scribble Sketch, and today we have a very hype video for me in particular. I am very excited to share with you guys my thoughts and feelings over the recent Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct. Now, of course, I was hopefully planning on sharing my initial reaction with you guys over the Direct itself, but I was a little bit worried that I would maybe hit a couple of issues with copyright reasons. Obviously, it is a Nintendo video, and if I just re-upload a 15-minute reaction, I felt that it would be a little bit unsafe or whatever, but I can basically just summarize my entire reaction to the video with one simple word, and it goes like this. Woo, loo, 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 woo, loo. So yes, basically my big takeaway from the entire Direct was that Wooloo is the best new Pokemon, and you can fight me on that, and I will fight you back, and I will win, because Wooloo is obviously the superior Pokemon. But, to try and kind of get away from just talking about Wooloo for a straight 15 minutes, which is really tempting to do, I might as well discuss a couple of things that I liked in particular from the Direct, maybe some things that I'm a little bit, not sketchy, but I'm wondering a little bit more about it. And we'll see how it goes. This isn't in any particular order, and I'm probably not going to cover absolutely everything that was mentioned in the Direct because there was a lot of information to take in. But here's my initial reaction, kind of thoughts and whatnot. So, in regards to the new Pokemon. Now, we got shown just a couple of new Pokemon. As you can tell, Wooloo is my favourite. Second to that would probably have to be Corviknight, I believe is how it's pronounced, because this is just basically the edgy version of Skarmory, I believe, because it's a flying and steel Pokemon. This one looks really cool, and it does give me a really kind of British vibe here. As we know, people are saying Galar region is most obviously inspired by the United Kingdom, and basically I'm getting a good kind of Ravens of London Tower kind of vibe from this creature. Also, it seems to be a taxi service, so people are obviously making the joke that it's basically an Uber driver, but for flying. So it seems like HMs are still no longer going to be a thing in the games, and we're going to have ride Pokemon sticking around, which I'm happy for, because I'm kind of glad that we're kind of phasing out HMs, and I prefer the ride Pokemon because I feel like it adds a little bit more personality to the games, and it helps kind of build the world that we live in. It seems to be Pokemon are now even closer to us than before, similar to the Detective Pikachu film, and the game was saying how people and Pokemon are living in harmony with each other. The other Pokemon, I believe one of them was Dreadnought, which seems very interesting. I'm very curious to see whether it's going to evolve into something pretty cool. Just from its initial design, I would think that maybe it's a 3-stage Pokemon. It gives me kind of Aron feels and whatnot, plus it could maybe be a pretty cool dragon type maybe, or could maybe not, we've no idea. The grass types, I can't even remember their name. One was called Gossifleur and Eldegoss or something like that. I think that were their names. They seemed cool. I'm not quite sure if that's the end of their evolution, because obviously Gossifleur evolves into Eldegoss, or Eldegas? I think it's Eldegoss. Not sure if that's the end of the evolution line, because Eldegoss seems more like a middle stage evolution than a final one, but I guess we'll just need to wait and see how that one kind of pans out. And sadly, we didn't get any second stages for the starter Pokemon, which I was really hoping for, but we didn't get it. So sadly, we'll just need to wait until maybe the next Nintendo Direct before we get some more information on that, or potentially some leaks or reveals from CoroCoro magazine, because I know people were saying that there's going to be a big story on Sword and Shield and whatnot in CoroCoro, and potentially we'll get the images and whatnot of the second stages. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Another big thing to take from it is that we actually got a release date for the game, which is going to be November 15th. It's going to be a simultaneous release, if I can say the word correctly. Simultaneous. It's a really weird word to say. But basically, everyone is getting it at the same time. Or rather, we hope everyone is getting it at the same time. Obviously, there are some of the issues that some people who order from websites end up getting it a day earlier because of delivery timings and whatnot. But at the same time, it's going to be the same date for everyone worldwide. So that's really exciting news, and I can't wait for that. We also got revealed the legendaries, the kind of box art legendaries, which everyone who was kind of on the same kind of thought process of, they're going to both be wolves, one of them is going to be a shield, and one of them is going to have a sword. Basically, we were all right. They are pretty cool. I'm not too sure on their color schemes and whatnot, because I feel like maybe their color schemes are too similar. Their designs are both quite different, and they're quite interesting. I'm just a little bit worried that their color schemes are just a little bit too similar to each other, and that they've both got the gold, the red, the blue, and whatnot, which I think it does seem like a really good colour scheme for them, because it reminds me of the kind of British Isles flag and everything. But I'm just a little bit worried that there's not too much to differentiate them other than their actual kind of body shape, because their colors are very similar. Whereas, you know, in previous generations, the colors have been quite contrasting and quite different from each other. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but I'm sure that we'll get like an eventual third legendary to make this a trio at some point, or maybe we'll meet them later in the game. So we'll just need to wait and see if we've got like a random third wolf cutting about here, maybe with like a double-edged nunchuck sword that is also a shield. I'm not too sure. We'll just need to wait and see. Other than that, we also got introduced to some characters in the game, and these ones I was actually quite excited for. So we straight up got revealed the champion of the region, who is Leone, who is like the most ridiculous outfit I have ever seen, but I also love him very much, and he seems to have a Charizard, which is actually kind of cool. I'm guessing this is going to be on his team, and he's stated to be like a great champion who has never been defeated in battle. So we don't actually know how long he's been champion for, or basically when he became champion, but judging by like his attire, he's got like a lot of like brands on the back of his kind of cloak looking thing, so it looks as if he's got sponsorships for being the champion of the Galar region, which I think is quite funny, because with the gym battles / stadiums, they seem to be going for like a real sporting theme, which makes me think of like kind of football and everything like that, with the brand deals and like the emblems on the uniforms and whatnot. So I find that quite interesting that they've taken that aspect to it, to the point that gym battles are so highly regarded in the Galar region. They are televised, which is so bizarre because they seem like such an everyday occurrence in other regions. It's just like your rite of passage that these gyms are just here, you go off and you fight a battle, but for some reason the Galar region just is really into it. I guess that they consider it more like a sport as opposed to just like a rite of passage that every Pokemon trainer goes through. So I find that really, really interesting. And our professor for this region is actually going to be Professor Magnolia. Now, I quite like her design. I think it's kind of cute that we've gone back to like a little old lady of the region, because I feel like the last time we had a female kind of, not professor, you know what I mean, a female professor was way back in, oh gosh, when was it? Was it Black and White? I think it was Black and White, was when we last had a female professor. But I like how she seems to be like the kind of like the yin to the yang to like Professor Oak, in that it's kind of an elderly lady, and she is supported by her granddaughter, who her granddaughter is Sonia. So Sonia is her assistant, and I find it quite interesting how we have the little old lady here who's going to be our professor, and she has a granddaughter helping her. So the granddaughter is not our rival, but is actually an assistant to the professor, which is actually really interesting. Sonia seems to have a pretty neat design here too. I quite like her design. And then finally, for other characters, we have Hop, who is Leon's little brother, and he's apparently one of our rivals. They did mention in the direct that he's one of our rivals, so I'm wondering if perhaps our other rival is perhaps the other trainer, like, because obviously you pick between being a boy or a girl. I'm thinking maybe our other rival is the trainer we essentially don't pick, so if we become the girl, then our other rival would be the boy option, which I think is how they would work it out, unless there's going to be another rival in the game besides Hop. But Hop seems pretty cool. He has a kind of neat personality. He looks pretty cute. I like him. Some people are kind of dragging on him for his hair, but I don't mind it too much. I think it's kind of cute seeing him here hanging out with our trainer and whatnot. Other than that, the most exciting thing that I can think about is obviously the wild area, which has roaming Pokemon, and we can control the camera 360 degrees any way we want. So basically it's Pokemon but Breath of the Wild, which is making me so excited. I can't wait to explore this region. It's going to be so amazing. I'm kind of wondering whether the cities and the towns are going to be similar, or whether it's going to be a static camera for those scenarios, and basically the free roaming camera is only going to be for when we're out in the wild. But I am really, really excited for this, guys. I can't really think of anything else I really wanted to say about this. That's basically all the gist of it. I'm also still thinking about Wooloo in the back of my mind and how I want to make that the thumbnail to this video. But let me know, guys, what was the most exciting part of the direct for you guys? Is it the announcement of the release? Was it the new Pokemon that we got to look at? Is it the new professor, the new kind of trainers that we got to meet? Is it the landmarks? Is it the new environment? I know I didn't mention the big ace in the hole here, or rather the elephant in the room, which is Dynamaxing. Personally, I don't really have an opinion on it, to be honest. I just think it's probably going to be our gimmick, similar to how we've had Mega Evolutions and Z moves and Alolan forms. This is basically the gimmick of the Galar region, is Dynamaxing. So I don't really have an opinion on it. It's cool, reminds me a little bit of Godzilla, but that's about it. I can't really think of much else to say about it other than it looks pretty neat. But I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me down below what were your highlights from the Direct and what you're hoping for the next bit of news that is coming out. I believe we are getting another Direct at some point. I don't know if we're going to get more Pokemon news at E3. We'll just need to wait and see about that one. It could just be repeated information from this Direct. We're not entirely sure. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to comment down below what you thought of this Direct. Let me know what you thought of it. And until next time, guys, I will see you all later. This video was made possible thanks to patrons such as Craig McCutcheon and Neko-Senpai.